Okay, hello, welcome back. We're doing the Sunday school lesson again. This one's going to be slightly different. I'm only going to be doing half of the Sunday school lesson this time. And let me explain kind of the reasons behind this. So, my church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, twice a year, in April and October, we have what's known as a general conference. That's where the general authorities of the church speak to the church in lieu of regular Sunday activities, regular church. And it's generally 10 hours of speeches broadcast over the weekend in 2 hour blocks, so five of them. Eight of these are just generally for the church, just for everyone in the church. But every once a year, they have one session specifically for the men of the church, known as the priesthood session. And then at another time in the year, they have a session specifically for the women, known as the Relief Society session. This is in the April session is the one with the men, the priesthood session, and in October has the Relief Society session specifically for the women of the church. So, as such, the lesson this week is divided into. Basically, it's one lesson for the full 2 weeks, even though it's the same size of a lesson. As such, I'm dividing the lesson in half, only going to do two parts of the lesson. And this is going to cover, in the Bible, New Testament, if you haven't been following along, Matthew 16 and 17, Mark 9, and Luke 9. And I'm going to cover basically two things that was done in this. And the first one deals with faith. It's a kind of an interesting story. A man brought his child, who was very sick, possessed of devils, I believe, in this case. You'll have to forgive me, even though I just read this, my brain doesn't always remember details like what specific sickness people had, so I apologize for that, but I believe they were possessed. And this man had gone to disciples of Christ in attempt to get his child healed, and the disciples had failed. They were unable to cast out the spirits. And so he brought it to Christ. Now, the man had plenty of reason to doubt. It's, we've tried this before. I thought they could do it. They couldn't do it. And this other person is supposed to be able to do it. Why should I believe? Why should I have faith? When something's already failed. And I think we've all, it's understandable. We've all been there. We've all, maybe not to the extreme of having a sick child that we're attempting to heal, but where we want to get something fixed, something done, and we take it to a person who we think can get it done, and it turns out they can't do it for one reason or another, the circumstances or whatever. And so, we kind of lose faith that someone is going to ever get this done or will ever be able to get this thing fixed. And that's the thing. Even though we often have reason to doubt, we need to keep faith in God, keep faith in the Lord, and keep faith that no matter what happens, it is the will of the Lord, and we have to trust in that. And that can be very, very difficult to do when we lose something, when times get tough. It's a very hard thing to do. And I think that's kind of a lesson of this man, because when he brought his child to Christ, he put aside all of his doubt and said, yes, I will have faith. I will believe. And we have to do that. And that's how we proceed. That's how we progress. We just have the faith and we keep moving forward. And the second story I wanted to get into was also to do with faith. And it's mostly the testimony. I said in the last lesson, I think Peter is one of the most unfairly maligned people in the Bible. There are three people who I think are quite unfairly maligned in the Bible. He is one of them. And I think this example in this lesson is an important reason why I think Peter is so exceptional and why I think any sort of malignment, any sort of, well, ripping on him really is not a good idea. It's, because people Christ asked his apostles, what do people say about me? Who do they say I am? And he got kind of the answer, John the Baptist reborn, he was Elias or Elijah or something. And then he asked, and who do you say I am? And Peter gave just a simple, straightforward testimony, same sort of testimony that a child would give. You are the Christ. You are Jesus Christ. You are the Savior of the world. Just simple, straightforward testimony. And that's the faith that we should try and have, even when times get tough. And yeah, let's face it, Peter went through some pretty tough times. But his faith was so exceptional that he did these incredible things. He had such a simple, straightforward faith. And I think that's what we need to aspire to have and to do. So, that's really kind of the shortened version of the lesson. The next lesson should be a little bit longer. I'd encourage you, if you want to see what my church believes, you can go to LDS.org and watch the General Conference. I believe they're shown on BYU TV as well. And you can, watch them whenever you want. I think, actually, people stream them also to YouTube. But I think LDS.org is probably your best bet to go there, and you can find the words of the general authorities and figure out what these strange members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are actually thinking. Anyway, that's the lesson for today. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.